Hey, if you're thinking about driving Uber and you're in New York City, please watch this video before you get your TLC license because I have done 25,000 trips between Uber and between Lyft. And I will tell you, there is some things that you need to know before you go down that path. And I also want to share why I decided to get out of that, what I call a trap, and get into a real career, right? This is especially for anybody that's like 35 and younger, especially my people who is like 18 to 22 years old. Maybe you're thinking that this is a great way to make some money and then you can focus on something else. Please watch this video so you can hear my story and you don't make the same mistakes that I make. So starting off, I have been driving Uber for about 9 years. I don't do it like I full time anymore. I do it maybe sometimes to actually make side income. Now I have a career. I have a tech support job at the software company here in Manhattan, and I'm so happy I was finally able to get out of Uber. But Uber was meant to be a great way for me to build myself, make extra money, have some type of vehicle where I can get around, and then focus on my entrepreneurial pursuits. But what I've learned 25,000 trips later, 9 years later, is that there are some things that happen that I really wish I didn't go through. The first thing is, number one, is that you get so comfortable in the amount of money that you make, right? And then because it's so difficult to move out of driving Uber, because what happens is if you don't have a car, you have to rent a car. What most people don't know is that whenever you get into an Uber car, at least in New York City, every single car has to have a TLC license. And in order to have that TLC license on that car, you have to have certain type of insurance. And it's very unlikely you'll have that right away. So what's going to happen is you're going to be paying rent on that car. You're going to be paying anywhere from $350 if you're lucky to $450 every single week to rent a regular car. And if you get started, the only way you'll ever make good money is if you work full time. Now, the good thing about it, you could make good money. There were many, many weeks where I made $2,000 a week. So you know that means I took home $1,500. There were some weeks where I made $2,500. And there was even a few weeks, which were very rare, that I even made $3,000 in a week. And these are usually holidays or the New Year's Eve or whatever, right? So my thinking is I'm doing this for such a long time, I should probably stop renting, right? I'm spending $450 every week to rent these different cars to drive Uber. What if I just buy my own car? So that's what I did. I saved up $10,000. I bought my own wheelchair accessible vehicle. And the reason why I did that is because when you drive wheelchair, you make it like 30% more because there's certain incentives for people to drive wheelchair in New York. So I saved up, I bought this car. It was a Dodge Grand Caravan. It was white. It had a wheelchair ramp in the back. And now all I have to do is pay insurance. I'm caking, right? I'm caking. But here's the thing. When you drive Uber, you put a lot of wear and tear on your car. Within 2 years, I put 80,000 miles in that car. And it was already at 180,000 when I bought it. So add another 80K on top of that. Name any part of a car I've had to replace it in my car, right? I've had to replace the engine. I was on my third engine. I had to replace the transmission. I was on my second transmission. All the tires, the brakes, engine mounts, radiator, alternator, serpentine belt. Man, I've even had to replace a window because I've been attacked by this biker, right? He was actually trying to hit me, right, through the window with his bike lock, but he missed because I was able to drive off a little bit and he smashed the back window. So why am I telling you this? I was making money, but I was also spending so much in expenses, whether that was through rentals or through repairs, and I didn't even mention taxes. So I'm telling you that if you're thinking about getting into Uber, I would highly recommend you not go down that path if you want to do something else with your life. If you know you're smart enough to do something else, don't go down that path. What I would instead encourage you to do is find a career that after 8 years, you'll see a compound growth in your career. Like, I drove Uber for 8, 9 years. There's no reason why I should still be making the same amount of money. The skills and knowledge that I have after driving 25,000 times, I should be like some like at least some senior position in driving, whatever, right? Right. So obviously, it's not that type of position, right? It's just a side hustle. That's what it's meant to be. It's not a career. But the money you make, you can make 70 to 80K gross. So, you kind of get comfortable, right? And especially during the pandemic, I was making a lot of money. I was making like anywhere between $500 to $700 a day because I was an essential worker and nobody was allowed to go outside. So I was making So anyway, listen, that is just a trap. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you are looking at a way, like, what can I do to change my life? You got to think in 2-year increments. What can I do today that would change my life 2 years from now? This is what the most successful people do. And this is what I did about a year ago. My life is completely different than 1 year ago. 1 year ago, I was living in my cousin's apartment in her son's bedroom on the bottom bunk. I had my fiance living in Kenya. I was barely able to keep the car that I had. Actually, I had sold my car by that point. Now I was renting, but even that rental car, it kept breaking down. It kept overheating, and I was trying to apply to tech jobs. I was trying to get a tech support job, so it reached the point where at the beginning of January of this year, I was given my offer letter for this position, and now my life is very different, right? I was able to get my first apartment in New York City. I've been working at this job now, it's September is the 9th, so 9 months now, and things are very different than what my life used to look like. Obviously, you can see I'm married now, so I would recommend. And you know what's so interesting about this career path that I've gone down? Where I'm at is just year one. If I were to look at what my life would be like in 8 years compared to what it looked like 8 years of driving Uber, it's not even a question, right? Just look up any person that has been in cybersecurity, that's in tech, and that's been doing that for 8 years. It's a completely different story. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make this video for all of you who've been thinking about getting your TLC license, driving Uber. Listen, if you're already going through the process, I'm not telling you to stop. I just want you to understand that it is a trap. It is something that you will be stuck in, and you will not really be able to build something on top of that unless you really, really focus on something else, right? Don't let Uber be your end all be all, right? And obviously that's not what I wanted for myself. Like, I wanted to, I had tried to start several different businesses, but you can't build a business off of a shaky financial foundation. You need a solid financial foundation before you can take that jump, right? Hopefully, you don't need that, right? And the first business you try succeeds and you make $1 million, right? But usually people who are millionaires, they have tried and failed many, many times before they finally get the combination right, develop the skills and the discipline before they really succeed. You know what I mean? So I really hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I got a lot of people who watch my videos who are here because of the beard growth videos. If you have any comments about my beard, you can leave it down below. You know what I mean? I think my beard has been, I couldn't be more happier with the way my beard looks. Let's just put it that way. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, definitely subscribe. We're going to be talking about more things, everything related to tech. Honestly, I just want to vlog about the things that I've gone through. I want to document them. I want to share what I've learned, what my mistakes, what I wish I did, what I actually did to win. Like, for example, I was able to get a tech job with no degree, no previous experience. You know what I mean? That is a huge thing. And I talk to people a lot about that, especially on TikTok. So again, if you enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.